Alright guys, welcome back. This is a video about how I missed out on a potential 16 to 17,000 US dollars because I followed my trading plan. I'll be going over the trade and just talk a little bit about some bullshit, you know how it goes. So this is the first time I'm gonna explain my strategy a bit on a video for public, not in my group, but yeah, just on YouTube. I use supply and demand, I use support and resistance, I use basic price action market structure, and then I combined it with my own concept that I created. It's called last candle concept. I will explain it a little bit, but not all of it because it's mostly for my group. I try to keep it kind of private. But yeah, I will go over it. So this is the trade USD Like I said, I missed out on it. I didn't take it. I will explain later why, but it will all make sense. I followed my trading plan, so I am very happy with that. And I know there will come way more opportunities next week, the week after, so I don't really care. This week's price action was great, but also not great. I did like volume. I loved how there are a lot of moves that played out, like you can see, but I just don't really like how they happened. None of my pairs gave a really good entry beside this one. All the interesting setups I had played out, but also very choppy, weird moves, weird wicks, weird candles. So yeah, I didn't really like it. I was not planning on taking any position either because of the price action. But yeah, I do love to see there is a lot of volume in the markets again, because last week's, after the recovery from all the tariffs, volume was not really optimal, and I made a bit of mistakes in there. But let's go over USD JPY right now. So the position I took was right here, but I will start of course from the beginning. We could see that we are in a bearish trend. Bearish trend for me, I don't really look anymore at these moves because for me they are already way too far gone. And we first of all disrespected this demand zone, and then we disrespected this demand zone right here. We broke this low, we broke this low, we broke this low, and we just created overall bearish market structure. That's why I was looking for sells in the first place. And yeah, let me replay how my setup looked like so I can show you guys exactly from 1 to 0 how it was. So first of all, we were creating a very sick consolidation here, and then we had our 4-hour breakout. This for me is really important. And then my last candle concept comes into play. Last candle, very simple, reminded like this. It's on the last candle before your breakout. That's where I will put my area. That's where I will start looking for an entry. This is just to perfectionize my zone, to minimize them, to make them small and good as possible. Then I can see, okay, 4-hour tapped in my area. I will now go over to the 15 minutes, and on the 15 minutes I would like to see exactly the same thing happen as on the 4-hour, but on the 15-minute. So if this is my move on the 4-hour, then here there is a new supply created. I will wait for a retest on the 4-hour, and then this is what my 4-hour position will look like. This is exactly how it will look like on the 4-hour. Now, not on a 4-hour, but I'll go over to the 15 minutes and wait for the exact same thing to happen. Here we have our first move, we have our first new supply that has been created. I remove my major 4-hour zone, or I make it smaller just so I know it was there. Then again we broke previous lows, so for me an indication that we are turning bullish. If we respect this supply zone, I will enter the candle after it. I put my stop loss I put my stop loss above previous lows, highs, what am I saying? I put my stop loss above previous highs. On a 4-hour it's not so clear, but if you go over to the 1-hour and the 15-minute, we can clearly see there is a high created right there. So for me, this is my previous high. I never ever choose the high that is in my entry, because for me that's new market structure on my area and not the previous high from my area. And then I will look for a break even and a take profit point. Of course, my take profit was based on this low here. just random. It's also almost 4 risk rewards, so for me that's way more than enough. First was this, but then with good momentum, you will see later, I was almost sure I would have held. So on the 15-minute, I then will look for a structure point to put my stop loss to break even. I do this really simple, guys. My stop loss point is literally my entry point if I would have traded to the different direction. So if I was looking for buys, where will I take an entry position? And that is of course right here on this demand zone. Last candle concept on here, where is my break even? This is the point where I will put my stop loss to break even. And then what else could happen? I'm just gonna let it play out. Bam, bam, bam. I have no clue what the red lines are. I'm very sorry for it. And then we can see our take profit, our break-even level got hit pretty fast. I don't know, after, okay, never mind, after this whole night, after 9 hours, which is okay. And then our take profit got hit a bit later, as you can see. There we go. So total time of this position would have been almost a day and or more than a day and a half, just not 2 days. So very normal, since you know I'm a swing trader and I take positions over a longer time. And bro, can't lie, this price action, it looks good but is fucking choppy. Wick, 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 wick down, super long wick up, unexpected. And I'm very happy with my take profit point, because you can see it got taken and then we immediately rejected super hard. So for me, very very nice. And now he rejected again. I was not gonna hold it, of course not, because the profit got hit. Now the reason why I didn't take it, guys, is also very simple, and I'm happy I didn't do it because I really followed my rules. Everything was there, everything was matching, everything was completely correct, my entry model was executed, etc. Everything was there, but the time was not correct. So as you can see at this candle, it was 15 past 7 in the afternoon, and because we're trading on a JPY pair, I was not gonna risk it with the spread hour, to be honest. And of course you can't expect immediately for price to go into profit. So I was thinking, or it's just according to my plan, we still have this major supply area. This for me is a complete supply area to fill up, so maybe price can still go higher, maybe price is going to fill up this gap, these orders, before it will go down. But I can't take that risk. And imagine if it's 10:30, price is here, price is still valid, but spreads would have took me out. Of course, not on every firm is spread that high, but you know, I can't take the risk. I can't take the risk for my group, for my single group, for my members to do it. I was hoping he would have just consolidated and then gave an entry the next day, but that is completely fine, to be honest. I don't really care. Shit happens like this. It's not shit, it's just okay. But next week we have new opportunities. I'm very happy that price played out exactly how it did, and I'm also happy I followed my plan, because you know how it goes. Then you don't follow your plan and trade goes into blah blah drawdown, and then spread hour fucks you over. So this is how I missed out on 16k and a bit on strategy. If you want to learn my strategy, if you want to learn how to swing trade super easy, super fast, going over the charts, let it click in your mind, I will put the link to my group down below. I also have a senior group. I don't really advise it, but you know, if you want to make some money without doing anything, you can also click on that link. And then I will see you guys next week with a new video. It will either be a vlog or a big announcement. I still have to decide that, but yeah, we will see. And then I will do the giveaway from the previous video. I don't know for when I said it, I thought Friday, but I might do it somewhere this weekend, because I'm gonna take the day off, and the weekend, I always take the weekend off of trading. I'll let you guys know. I will just do it in a spin wheel, and then See you next video, guys. Ciao ciao.